Hi everyone, paint photographer here, and I'm going to teach you how to just do a real simple paint job using the DIY paint. This is mint chip. I have my DIY sampler brush that I absolutely love. You're going to just paint on the DIY paint. DIY paint is highly pigmented. It goes on with one coat usually, and I like to give it a second coat because I do like the solid coverage. For the second coat, I use a water bottle. I slightly missed the project, and it makes the paint flow so much easier, and the paint is highly pigmented that you only need like a half of a coat. So adding the water helps to just make that paint move around and stretch it a little bit further. Water is your friend when it comes to DIY paint. Now we're going to distress the edges. You take just a plain baby wipe or a moistened cloth and you wipe around on the edges. The paint will remove and you'll actually see the undercoat, which in this case was the plain wood. And that will come through and give your paint job just a little bit of a distressed look. The distressing on the chair is done. Now we're going to add a little stamp. I am going to use the Queen Bee stamp to stamp on the seat of this chair. This is the Queen Bee. It's one of my favorites, and it's an IOD product. So how you do that is you have your design that you want, and you line it up with the rough side of the stamp. There's a smooth side and there's a rough side. The rough side is the side that's going to be stamped, so you line that up. There, that's going to be the design on my seat. The IOD stamps come with a clear plastic sheet on the top. You're going to take this clear plastic sheet and you're going to pick up your design. So you're going to lay it down. And push on it. And then all of your stamps get picked up. So that's an easy placement when you have ink on your stamp to lay it back down. They're all going to be in the exact same spot that you want them to be. We're going to use the IOD ink. It comes in with a blank ink pad, and it also has some black ink. We're going to take the black ink and make sure the ink pad has a nice, good coat of ink on it. You don't need much. And if you just recently used it, you probably don't need any at all. Then you're going to take, and with your stamp pad, ink the back of your stamps. Then you're going to take your stamp after it's all inked and line it back up and lay it down and press on it. You got to be careful not to wiggle it once you have it laid down, because that will cause a double image. I like to let the stamp be on there for a little bit of time to make it adhere to the painted surface. You want to make sure that your paint does not have a sealer on it, because it makes it much easier to stamp when it doesn't have a sealer on it. The paint is kind of porous and it accepts the ink. Then you're going to take and pull it off. And there's your stamp. I like to distress the stamps a little bit. If you like them bright and not any flaws in them, you can leave them as is, but I kind of like them distressed. So I take a 220 grit sandpaper. Now we're going to clear wax. This is the DIY clear wax and the DIY wax brush. The both can be found on my website. You're going to put a little bit of the clear wax on the brush, and you're going to smooth it onto the project, and it'll turn a different color. The brightness will come through in the paint. And this is my absolute favorite process, is seeing those colors just pop right through. And you're going to continue to just put all that clear wax on. Then it's the white wax. I've been a fan of using this white wax for a while now. It just softens up your project and makes it, I don't know, look really sweet. So put the white wax right over top of the clear wax, and you're going to put it on fairly heavy. You can smooth it around as much as you want. What you want it to do is you want it to get stuck in all those crevices, and then you're going to wipe it off. And you're going to wipe that top layer off, and it'll remain in the creases. After your wax has been on there for 24 hours, you're going to take a brush and you're going to buff it off. This one is the Big Daddy buffing brush, and you just take and you circle around on your wax until you get a nice, clean, shine look. There's also this buffing brush. This is the little buffing brush, and this one, it's the same thing. Let's buff the wax. The wax has dried for 24 hours, and so you're going to get a smooth, matte finish. If you don't have a buffing brush, you can just use a piece of paper toweling and buff with your paper toweling. You're gonna go over the whole project. When the wax is wet, it feels kind of sticky. And after you buff it, it's really smooth. That's it. That's the project. Thanks for joining me. I hope you try one yourself. Thanks for watching. And if you want any of these products, please stop in at Foreman's Farm Home in Medford, Wisconsin, and pick them up. I have a website, thepaintedphotographer.com, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks and happy painting.